Well, today we're talking about how to stage your house on a budget. We're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sansalone and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And if it's your first time here, please don't subscribe. Hey, you need to see what I got, right? If it's your second time or third time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So I get it, you want to sell your house, but you don't have a whole lot of money extra to put into the house. Well, if you're in that situation, here's some options. I'll give you ideas how to stage while not spending too much money in the process. Number one, have you heard this before? Declutter. Declutter can mean a lot of different things to different people. What declutter means is get rid of anything that's visible that is not necessary. Your whole goal in trying to stage a house is you're trying to make small rooms look larger and large rooms look functional. So anything that is not essential or doesn't bring value to that proposition should be taken out. That includes most of the stuff on your kitchen countertops. That includes most of the things, the trinkets and knickknacks that you might have thought would be helpful to have on your desk or on your shelves. Take those things off. You want to make sure you accentuate the space that your house has without filling it with things. Declutter also means taking down unnecessary pictures. That means including a lot of the personalized items on your walls. It doesn't mean you have to take everything down that's personalized, but you know, like if you've got family pictures on every single wall, you've got Aunt Sheila over there and you've got Uncle Jeremy's kids over here, and they're everywhere. Just kind of be realistic as to people when they want to walk in and see a house to buy, they don't want to be distracted with things that are not affecting or influencing their reason to want to buy. Because what we're also doing is we're trying to put pictures into the buyer's head of what it might be like to live here. But if we're making it more difficult to do that, it makes it harder for them to want to buy the house. They feel like they're not sure exactly what they're getting. And if you're taking stuff out of your house, put it in boxes, and that could be putting it in the garage. I know it's nice to keep the garage clean too, but if you have to do that, you have to. But at the same time, you could also rent a storage unit. Now there's another website, if you're in certain cities, called Clutter.com. Clutter.com is a kind of a thing where instead of using a storage unit, you can send them your things. They'll store them for you. When you're ready for them back, they'll send them to you. It can start as low as $8 to $10 a month. It depends on what you're doing. So that's only for specific cities. In Hampton Roads, that isn't probably an option. So for the sake of this conversation, you're going to probably need to get a storage unit ready to make sure everything that is not necessary is out of the way. Kitchen countertops. Keep them as empty as possible. It's funny how when you take off all the things on your kitchen counter, how deep that countertop looks, right? So you want the buyer to see how deep that countertop is. They'll say, wow, look at all this countertop space. Now, once you've taken things out, now it's time to focus on the things you want to put actual money towards. If you're going to spend money on anything, do it with paint and taking care of those flooring issues. Paint is the big thing. If you have any personalized paint colors, darker color, you want to get rid of those for sure. Another thing paint does, it makes things smell really new. Same with carpet. That new fresh smell can make a buyer when they walk in think that a lot of things are new. And so that first impression makes a big difference, right? You want to appeal to as many senses as you possibly can. Anything that makes the buyer more comfortable, more welcomed, and feel like they could live in the house that you have. When it comes to cabinets, paint the cabinets if you need to, but also just changing the hardware makes a big difference between a cabinet that might look like 25 years old and a cabinet that looks 8 to 10 years old or less. So instead of spending several $1,000s on new cabinets, just spend a few hundred and paint and maybe put some new hardware on those cabinets and they look significantly newer. I would put some attention to the bathroom, specifically the faucets, the fixtures, shower heads, sink faucets. Make sure that they're replaced if they're really old. You're helping to guide them through the purchase process. Ooh. So in order to do that, light, light, light. Let there be light. You don't want the darkness to take over the house. The brightness makes rooms feel bigger too. That means replacing bulbs. That means checking the wattage. Light makes things look brighter, more open. I've seen it many times where putting in an extra few light bulbs or new light bulbs can make a room that looks real basic and average turn into something that looks incredibly fancy. And just from more light, take down any unnecessary drapes that block light in from entering rooms, especially the small rooms. Take out any unnecessary furniture. Too much furniture makes rooms feel small. Make every piece of furniture act with a specific purpose. If it doesn't have a purpose that a buyer could see, take it out. Put it back in the storage unit. Taking that extra 3-foot chair out of the room and replacing it with nothing, open space, makes a buyer walk in and think that that room could be 2 or 3 feet wider. Think of furniture in a way that a new buyer might want it, or the masses might want it, because you want to appeal to as many people as possible, because that means more buyers. That means more opportunities for somebody to make an offer on your house. So making it easy for people to walk through rooms, making it very easy to think through where furniture would go. Are the ceilings too low, or do they feel low and they make the room feel darker? Well, a couple things you can do. Get some of those long ferny things, like the long plants, put them in like a narrow vase and put it in the corner of a room. What that does is it makes the room feel taller. Kind of like if you're wearing like a striped shirt, up and down striped shirt, it can make someone feel taller or thinner. Same idea, and the same goes to curtains. If you want to do curtains, get a curtain with a rod on the top, long curtains, and it looks like the room got lifted a little bit. And that extra lift and that extra tall feel can make someone feel like, oh, this is a big room, and all you did was add curtains or those little ferny things. Another thing you can do is go to a place like Michael's, some of those craft stores, get some bowls, like those big bowls, you've seen these before, like those long, wide bowls, and put those things, those balls, the things that look like exploding potpourri, those big things that you're not exactly sure what they are, throw those in a big bowl. Or put fresh fruit out, things that fill the bowl, adds character to a room, but it doesn't take up a lot of space at the same time. A couple other things that will make rooms feel open. In the bathrooms, new bath curtain really goes a long way. Nice fresh white one or a light colored one. And you can get new sheets and comforter, or you can get like sheets and like a duvet, and you just use the duvet on the bed and then have matching sheets and put those sheets up on the windows as curtains. So you have matching curtains and a duvet in the same room. It adds a nice touch. And with regards to paint, make sure the paint is neutral. Don't go like what I did when I was a kid. I painted my bedroom dark blue, thought it was the best because it matched my pool table. Come on. Let's get real. Creams are fine, but nowadays what's in is grays, light gray, light gray, the very light blues. That is good for the large walls that make rooms feel much bigger. And then keep in mind too, when you're buying paint, that the paint colors look a shade or two darker on the walls as they do at the paint stores. When you take those swatches and you look at them, picture that thing on the wall and then picture it just a little bit darker. And if it doesn't feel like it's light enough, you might want to even go a little bit lighter than what you think. Now on the exterior, all you gotta do is get a pressure washer, pressure wash the outside, the vinyl siding if you have it, the brick, and weeds. Weeds are like the dust of the outside. It changes the whole complexion of the first impression that someone has when they're driving up. It makes the whole house look fresh and bright and almost sometimes new. You're like, wow, this is an awesome looking house. And all you did was just clean the dirt off. That pressure washer will be your best friend, or hire someone to do it. But if you can, just go to Lowe's and rent a pressure washer, and you can do it yourself. You're also going to paint a great impression as people walk in. Okay, this family takes good care of their things. And then they walk in thinking this person takes care of the front of their house. They probably are taking care of the inside of their house too. So it means that they're thinking about less what ifs, less is there a leak, more about themselves and what they want to do with the house, not what they have to fix before they get into the house. So when a buyer walks into your house, what you want to help them do is you don't want them to try and find problems where there aren't any. Clean. This is really before you get a photographer in, before you have the house shown and put it on the market, do a deep clean, especially your kitchen, your bathrooms, and your living areas. Make it sparkle, because all the things you could do to help to stage a house could all go out the window if the thing looks dirty to begin with. When you get rid of all the dust and the dirt, it'll smell a whole lot different too. And on that note, when you show a house, putting some fresh flowers when you have the photographer come in or you have it shown, having some fresh flowers in as a nice pop color can be really nice to not just bring the color into the room, but also bring a nice smell and a fresh smell into the house. Cookies are a good idea. Sometimes that can become a hassle, but it can work. If you're gonna consider air fresheners, candles can be a good option. Again, you want something that is neutral. You don't want it too extreme that can turn people off. You want it to enhance your house, not to detract. The whole idea with staging is you want to bring your best impression to the buyers, and that starts with the first impression before they even walk in the door. The outside, the landscape, and as you walk in the door, the very first room that they see, you want it to be light, you want it to be open, you want it to be neutral colors. You don't want them to be thinking, what do I have to do to this house before I move in? You want them to think, all I've got to do is put my stuff in where I want it, and I'm good to go. This is a funny story. So in my first ever house that I bought, I had a big master bedroom. And so I thought, well, I'm 21, I want to have some fun, right? Well, the master bedroom also had a large walk-in closet. I did the measurements and I thought, this is perfect. I can get a full-size pool table in my bedroom What do I do with my bed? I'll put it in the closet. I took the pool table, put it in my bedroom, and I painted the whole room dark blue. Bad idea. It looked like a cave. It felt like a cave. But that's not something you can attract other buyers with. I had to paint that over when it was time for me to sell that thing. Never, ever do what I did. Of course, I was 21, but hey.